The subjunctive is a very complicated tense in French. Usually, it's the last one we study in the process of learning French. In this video, you're going to learn how to conjugate it and in which situations you have to use it. I'm telling you upfront, it's not easy, so be ready for a brain workout.
Mais laisse-moi tranquille, Marcel.
Oh, elle est ratée. À moi.
First of all, the conjugation. In French, it's always the same deal. You have to find the root, then add the right ending matching the right subject. For the root, there is a good trick in the subjunctive. You can use the conjugation of il and elle in the plural in the present tense. Let's use the verb dormir, to sleep, as an example. If I conjugate it in the present tense with il in the plural, I get il dorme. Then I take off the ent, that is the ending for the present tense, to get my root, D-O-R-M. That's it. Now that we have our root, let's look at the endings. We have I for je, is for tu, I for il, elle, on. Then IONS for nous, I-easy for vous, and ENT for il, elle in the plural. If you're a French conjugation crack, you should notice something here. Yes? The endings of je, tu, il, elle, on, and il, elle in the plural are exactly the same as the ones for the regular verb of the present tense. Yes, it's very good to know because you have less to remember then. And this is actually why for many verbs the subjunctive and the present tense sounds the same, because for many subjects they are actually the same. And what about the nous and vous endings? Do they ring a bell? They should, because they are actually the same as the ones we're using for the imparfait. So you see, at the end of the day, the endings of the subjunctive are not that complicated to remember, because most of them are exactly the same as the ones we use for the present tense of the regular verbs, and for nous and vous, they are just the imparfait. Now let's talk about when to use the subjunctive in French. Subjunctive. You might have noticed that this word sounds like subjective a lot, right? So it's not random. It's because the subjunctive tense is actually the one we use for subjectivity. And to be more precise, subjectivity about someone or something else. Typically, the subjunctive is the tense we use for wishes or if we want someone to do something. For instance, if you want to translate in French, I want you to come. We use the subjunctive and it goes like je veux que tu viennes. Vienne being the verb conjugated in the subjunctive here. It would be exactly the same story if you want to say something like I would like you to blah blah blah, I wish you to blah blah blah, and so on. We also use the subjunctive to express emotions and feelings, again, always about someone or something else. For instance, if you want to say I'm glad you understand, in French we get je suis contente que tu comprennes, comprenne being in the subjunctive. And it would be exactly the same story, the same deal, if you use another emotion instead of glad. It could be jealous, impatient, sad, whatever. Subjunctive is the one we have to use in French. There are two very important things to keep in mind if you want to use the subjunctive correctly in French. The first one is that you have to use que in your sentence. This is mandatory. With no que, no subjunctive. Like I said in my examples, je veux que tu viennes. Je suis contente que tu comprennes. Second thing, you need a change of subject. I mean that you cannot have the same subject before and after the que. They have to be different. If you want to translate something like I wish I speak French perfectly, it doesn't translate word to word. We have to say je voudrais parler parfaitement français. We have to use an infinitive here and not the subjunctive. That's it for today. I want to keep it short because it's a recap, but I know the subjunctive tense is a difficult one, so if you want more details, information, examples and situations, check out my long video in French. I have a bunch of other good things there. Thank you so much for watching this video up to the end. I hope you had a good time. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you like what I do, and you can also check out my Patreon. I have a bunch of super cool resources for you there too. Salut les amis, à très bientôt.